I'll wait for another minute. Good morning, good morning.
Abhi, you can start, Abhi.
I can start. Okay. So hi everyone. So good morning for today. So we are going to see lot of scientific facts on this Tuesday. So what are the scientific facts? We'll go one by one. So first thing, tornado. Tornadoes, they are like a very big swirling wind. When you have a bottle of water, when you flip it over, you see a lot of rotating water inside that transparent bottle. That is something like a inverted tornado inside your bottle. But what if it is going to be very big? Good morning. If it is very big, it is going to go all the way across to the sky. So what happens then? We'll see from the out of the space. So we are going to go into the world and we are going to see where is that equator. This is the center line of the globe, which is the equator. So there, if you have each part, so you have 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. So we have equator, above that there is Tropic of Cancer, and above that is North Pole's meridian. That's called polar meridian. So on the bottom also there is Tropic of Capricorn, and below that is the South Pole meridian. So all these times when you have a lot of air blowing in, so from the top, from the bottom, all the sides, it goes around and around. It goes very big, and you can also see this as an experiment. This is called Coriolis effect. What is Coriolis effect? If you take a tumbler of water, you put some leaves in it, and if you keep it very stationary in a north of equator, say we are in the north of equator, we are in India. So if we keep a tumbler there, and if we put a hole in the bottom and drain that water, it will rotate in the clockwise direction. The leaf on the top of the water will rotate in clockwise direction. But if we go down south, maybe beyond the equator, and go to the South Africa or Australia or somewhere down, then we do the same thing, put the leaf on top of the water and we plug it out, all that will go and it will rotate in anti-clockwise direction. So there are two effects in it. So one is in clockwise, another is anti-clockwise. You know how clocks rotate, no? The clocks rotate from 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way and back to 12. So it is a clockwise direction. Now next fact. Bolts of lightning can shoot out of an erupting volcano. Volcano, lightning. Two most contrasting things. Volcanoes are very big. It will spew out lot of hot magma. It is like how boiling they are, all reddish in color. Boof, it comes out. But lightning is something different. How does it look? It looks like this. So this is very unique phenomenon. This is not very commonly seen in anywhere in the world, because only certain times, that is when the clouds are of charged nature. Oh my god. So new things we have to say. Okay. What is charge? What is a charge? How different are charges? Can anyone tell me? What are the two different types of charges? Anybody?
Charges give power.
Okay. Charges give power. Okay. What are the two sides of a battery? A battery has two sides, right? Have you all seen a battery? Battery. Torch battery. No?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are the two sides of a battery?
Negative and positive.
Very good. Super. So there are two sides of a battery, which is positive and negative. So whenever there is a excess amount of charge, say if there is more negative charge, it wants to move to the positive charge so that it can cancel out each other. This is called change of electric charges, which is the reason why electricity comes in. So if you account this for a very, very larger size, it becomes the lightning. So lightning is even more bigger. Lightning is like all the way going around in the space. So when you take this into account, it is going to be even more bigger. One second. Sorry, I had a phone call. So all these charges will go very, very big around the clouds, and they sometimes have 4 different effects. What will happen? One, the charge will go from cloud to the air, so that you can see lot of positive charge goes and fills out into the sky, and it becomes another negative charge. Sometimes it goes in between the clouds. It goes between cloud to cloud, where there is more positive on one side, more negative on one side. The other thing is within the clouds. So you have lot of positive charge on the top, lot of positive charge in the bottom, even more positive charge in the middle. So all lightnings goes in between. And the final one, the one that we can see all the time when we have different of current in the bottom, that is in the volcano. So that is how all these charges and currents work. Next, if you run in the rain, you will get 50% more wet than if you stand still. So whenever it rains, we suddenly drop out and we will run. We will run to our home. Achicho, the rain is coming. What we will do, we will not take into account that we are also wearing raincoat, or we are wearing having an umbrella or anything. The reason is there is something called relative velocity. Okay, there is another way to do it. Say if you are in a Appa or Amma is taking you in a bike. Okay, you are going in the speed that is around 30-40 kilometers. You are going. Suddenly you see a train that is crossing next to you in a very, very long road. How does the train look? Can anybody tell? Anybody? Somebody? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody can tell if I'm going in the bike and there is suddenly a train crossing next to me, how does the train look? Does the train look slow or does the train look fast?
Fast.
It looks slow.
Fast.
Okay, it's a mixed answer. So some of you saying as fast, some of you saying as slow. Now I'll change that question. What if I am going on the northward and the train is coming south? Zish, it is going. Now, which is faster? The train before or the train after?
Equal.
Train after.
Correct. The train that comes later, that is when you are crossing, that is coming on the opposite side, will go faster than you, because you are going in 30. That train is going in around another 30. So 30 plus 30, it goes in 60 kilometers per hour at the same speed. Joining, it will go across you. But if you are on the same side, both of you are going at the same speed, 30, you will look at the train and say hi, and someone in the train will say hi. We are in the both speed. This is called relative velocity. So what happens if you are in the rain, you are standing still, nothing will happen. But if you are walking against the rain, or if you are running against the rain will fall on top of you and it will go behind you. So it will go even the additional speed of your walking or running. So don't run. So when there is rain, don't run. If you run, you will get more wet. Okay, next one. Cold water weighs more than hot water. That's a fact. How can you prove it? Anybody?
If we make water hot, it changes into water vapor.
Okay.
So cold water is weaker.
Interesting.
Also.
That is also something you can do. But even simple, anything else you can do it even more simpler? Hot water, yeah, it goes evaporates and it will go light.
Density.
Something to do with density. Very good, very good. Can you tell me what is density, if it is possible for you?
Molecule space.
Molecule space. Okay. In what? It is tighter, looser. What if it is more dense? What is the difference in molecules?
More dense is closer.
Very good. So when it is more dense, it is more closer. So it is something like when you have ice, it is more closely packed. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what happens. So when you have iceberg, that is that floating ice that is on top of it, because it is filled with both air and water, which is in the form of ice. When you are in a very warm water, it is even more loosely packed. But if it is a very cold water, it is very dense. So it goes all the way down. So ice floats, warm water, it is just below the ice, and cold water even more dense and it goes all the way down. So water is the only known compound which is in all the three states. That is, it is in solid, it is in liquid, and it is in gaseous phase. So what is solid? Solid is something that is very tight, that is very dense. So when you say closely packed, when you say something it is tightly closely packed, it is the nature in which it is going to be. So something like ice. Next, if it is liquid, it can easily flow. So if you have it in a tumbler, if it is you are in a glass bottle, if you pour it, it takes that form of any other thing that you wish to be. Next, gas. You can't hold it in your hand, you can't put it in your tumbler, you can't have it anywhere. It will always go around, freely roaming around. That is gas. All these three phases, only water has it. No other liquid is known to have it, unless until you can able to push it beyond the temperature or pressure of that particular compound. So sounds interesting?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next we'll go next. Some sand dunes bark. What is barking?
A dog barks.
The dog or anything barking.
Anything is barking.
That makes a sound.
Okay, but how can a sand dune or a sand bark? What is a sand dune? Have you anybody seen a sand dune?
In deserts, it'll be there like mountains, small.
Correct. Very good. So when you are in a mountain, when you are in a desert, you have long, very sharp kind of sand structures called sand dunes. What happens? Why is this so? Because sometimes there are possibilities that sand dunes or those in the desert will form into a small packets of water, because this is due to condensation. Sometimes very long time it takes for this to absorb all the moisture in the atmosphere, and when it is very low and very shallow, it becomes somewhat dense and somewhat having a different tendency other than the normal thing. So you can see in this particular desert there are green color patches. So these are something called oasis. Oasis is always filled with a little bit of sand with a little bit of greenery. So when you walk on this, particular space, what it does, the sand will make wow, 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 wow kind of sound. So when you walk in your barefoot or when you walk with your slipper, it will make that sound. That's the reason it's called barking. Have anybody seen desert? Have anybody gone to deserts? I have not gone. I have never been to a desert in my life. Have anyone? Anybody?
No, sir.
Maybe we will all go together after we finish this lockdown. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I lost a signal just now. Fine. Next, sharks have 8 senses.
Abhi, can you share your screen? It's not sharing.
Okay, I didn't expect that.
Yes.
It's coming up. Okay. So
Yes.
sharks have 8 senses. Humans have only 5. What are the senses we have? What are the human senses?
Eyes, ears, nose,
Eyes, nose.
Eyes.
Eyes, ears, nose. Everybody eyes, ears, nose, and everybody gone silent.
eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and
Skin.
Skin, or we can call it as touch sensation. So what about sharks? How can it have 8 senses? We are always having everything in the world, but how can a shark have more than us? Any guess?
Teeth, sir.
Heat. Okay.
Eyes.
Another 2 more.
Gills.
that it will have something.
Sir, gills, sir.
Okay, that is breathing. We have nose, we have breathing. No problem.
In its back, it has something.
Okay. I will tell you. So it has vision, it has eyes, it has scent, it has to smell something. With a taste, tongue, it has taste. Electrosense. Electrosense is even more powerful sensory perception, where it can detect a long distant electrical based senses. So what it will do, when it tries to go around, it will sense small pulses of heartbeat. So when your heart is beating, it gives a small amount of electrical pulse. Bzz, 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 it will give, and this electrical pulse a shark can sense, and it can come near you and it can take a bite from you. So that kind of sensory purpose it has. Next is hearing. It is very good in hearing. It has also got some kind of hearing sense. Sense of touch. When you touch it, it has a skin, an outer skin that it can able to sense. Pressure sensor. This is something very unique. We also use it somehow, but not to the extent like a shark. How? Okay, we are going in an aeroplane. How many of you have gone in an aeroplane? Okay. And how many of you have gone to hill station?
I went 2 times, sir.
2 times. Very good. Have anyone gone to hill station? Something like Ooty, Kodaikanal?
Yes, sir.
Okay, most of you have gone. So what happens if you go up? Your ears will get stuck. Your ears will have no more sound. You'll have that dub effect in your ears. Have you feel it?
Yes, sir.
When you come down also, you'll have that same feeling. Why do you have that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hill station will be cold.
Okay, that's a very good way of putting it. The hill station is cold.
Oxygen.
I'm sorry, Kanama, what did you say?
Oxygen.
Pressure difference.
Correct. Pressure. It is also the reason of pressure, because when you are up in the mountain, or when you are up in the hill station, what is the type of pressure that you are in? You are in a very low pressure or very high pressure?
Low pressure.
So you are in the top of a mountain, you are in low pressure. So your air drums will push down out. But when you are coming down, all the air that was around you will push you inside. All your head's internal air will be pushed in. So all your eardrums will go in, and you will have a feel of your ears are not working. So both times you will have different pressure sensors in your body. Your eardrums are also the only way in which you can tell which is up or which is down. Have you ever tried going upside down in your somersault or any other exercise? If you do that, you will know that which is up or down based on your rotation. That is also a pressure sensor working in your ears. The last one is temperature, eighth sensor. Do we have a temperature sensor? I will give you one, what do you say? I'll give you one hot gulab jamun in your hand. If I put it with your eyes closed, can you tell if it is hot or cold? Hot?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But without even touching it, if I only put it a little above a silver spoon, can you able to tell it if it is hot or cold?
It is very hot, you can say, sir.
No, that silver spoon will be already be cold, but on top of that silver spoon there is a gulab jamun. Now tell me.
Cold.
Okay. Now if I put that gulab jamun directly in your hand. So it depends on what kind of medium that you are touching. If you are touching a silver spoon, it is going to feel cold. If you are touching a direct gulab jamun, it is going to feel hot. So that is the way in which our temperature sensors work. But for sharks, it is completely different. Sharks have a separate system for detecting temperatures. Sounds good? Okay, next fact. Next, we are going to see another friend in the sea, dolphins. Dolphins can hear sounds underwater for 24 kilometers. Okay, this is something unique. How much can you hear? What is the longest sound that you can hear? Okay, how far is your school bell from your classroom? Ting 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 ting.
Maybe 250 meters away.
Oh, that's a very big school. Okay. For a normal human being, the maximum sound that they can hear is somewhere around maximum. If there is no other disturbance, no other medium or anything, maximum they can hear for 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer long distance is the time at which it can hear a sound far away. For it to be at least around 40 to 90 decibels, that is the measure of sound. If it is more than 90 decibels, they can go beyond that. Even if it is around, say, you have seen aeroplanes flying, right? Aeroplanes flying all the time above you. You notice, you turn around and see that in the sky, and the aeroplane will be going, and that sound will be coming to you. That is
Yes,
because
sir. Yesterday also.
that is flying at the height of around 2 to 3 kilometers above our Earth. But what about inside the water? Have you ever put your head inside the water and tried to talk? That only you can do.
Yes, sir.
Or otherwise, what you can do, if you ask someone to hit the tumbler and spoon, like go Corona, go all the time, you will hear that sound very less inside that water if you put your head inside. Because our eardrums are not capable enough for differentiating sound inside water, because we have evolved as a humans to see only the sound from the sky. from the air. But dolphins, they are very, very smart. They also have the same capacity of our brain. So we have around 1.3 to 1.4 kilogram of brain. Dolphins also have the same size. That's why they have evolved it on under the water, so they can hear it for about 24 kilometers. Sounds good? Next fact. Palm trees grew at the North Pole about 55 million years. That is around 550 lakh years ago. What are palm trees? Anybody? Palm tree, palm tree. We also have another name for it. We used to make chutney from it.
Coconut tree.
Coconut tree, yes. Coconut tree, also called as palm tree, because there are different types of palms. One such palm is coconut. So coconut trees used to grow in North Pole. What's so special in it? So North Pole, yeah, everybody knows. North Pole is here. Was here. So it is on the top of the earth, above the Tropic of Cancer. It is a far, far, far bigger, white, snowy space. There used to be a long time ago, there was very hot space because of Earth's tilt. Earth was tilting, if you remember, from 0 degree to 17 degrees over a period of many billions of years. Over that time, that tree had been living in a space for a hot climate. This is the fact. Next fact. Astronauts are orbiting the Earth to see around 16 sunrises or 16 sunsets every day. Why is that so? Who are astronauts? Can anybody tell me? Who are astronauts?
The person who goes to space and explores about the space.
Okay.
By astronomy.
Yes. So whenever you are leaving out of the Earth and if you are going up into the space and to come back only after say 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you are called astronaut. If you go up in the space and come back immediately, you are called as air traveler or air passenger. You go in an aeroplane. That's all. So
I know, sir.
Yes, everybody knows. So astronauts, what they do, they have their own small living space in the sky. They are called space station. So what it does, it goes around and around the Earth for many number of times to observe, to study what is happening in the Earth all the time. So with that, they can always see ahead of the time. So sometimes they will go from east to west, sometimes they go west to east. Both directions they will be rotating around the space. I told you how gravity works. So gravity is very different for every object. So every few months or every few weeks once, they will change the direction of that space station and they will look all the way across the sky. So this is one particular astronaut looking through the window and she's seeing the whole Earth in front of her. So she's very far. But looking at the Earth, which is very small to her. It's just in the size of her hand. So this is the facts for today. So I think I'm already off the time. Any more questions you have, you can ask me. No questions for today. Which fact did you find interesting?
Sharks, sir.
Sharks, okay. What about rain, running in the rain? Oh, dolphin, okay, very good. Okay.
Everything was interesting.
Thank you. Okay, ma'am.
Fun fact, that's not the fun fact which I liked was the dolphins can hear underwater.
Oh, okay. So you're going to try go into your tub and going to listen to whether you can hear it or your mom calling you from the water.
No.
Don't do that, okay? It's not safe.
Okay, children.
Bye.
Okay, we'll see facts tomorrow. Okay. Thanks, Abhi, for the session, for today's sessions, and we'll meet you in astronomy question. Thank you so much. And students who are all there in the storytelling, please stay.
Yeah,